Welcome to Tabletop Titans for our recap of the Templars against the Genestealer cults, and what an exciting game. I think anybody out there who was rooting for the Genestealers really got a good showing, despite the fact that they ultimately lost to the Templars. It was right down to the wire, to one dice roll.
It was so close, and for this Codex to put up that kind of fight against the Space Marine Codex is always a cool thing to see.
Yeah. It shows that you teched into the good units.
Yeah.
And they worked out, and I don't even think you necessarily got the full power out of everything. There was a few big things that didn't go well, and it easily could have swung the other way.
Absolutely.
Right?
There's a million small things. Like when it's that close, it's a million small things that could have just tipped it over. So really fun game. Really cool to see.
It was really great.
That was awesome. Yeah. I love that kind of
stuff. And what
a
great debut. For many of you, this is the debut for the Templars.
Yeah.
So what a great showing for them as well. All of their things really did what it was supposed to do.
Yep.
They were a great combat chapter, and a bit of everything in here. Combat-wise, there's a ton of stuff. The new Vanguard vets were great. Although they flubbed on their rolls, they were just useful to have that speed and to have their abilities. Their speed gave me a lot of utility.
Yeah, exactly. And you also played them intelligently in a way that I knew they were one of the easier things for me to kill because you couldn't transhuman, and I do have like high strength on certain things, etc. But you played intelligently where they're like coming in, killing something, and then staying behind the line of sight blocking. And part of that is also because of their movement. So it's really interesting. Again, that was also the debut of the Vanguard vets on the channel.
It was the first time we ever played
so
Vanguard
cool
vets.
To see them performing well too. I really like it. We even remember their chapter tactics sometimes, so that's nice.
Near the end of the game, whenever you're playing a new army, this is only the second time I've ever played Templars, and you're only in your super doctrine for like 2 turns or something, and I remembered it for one of the 2 turns. So I feel like that's pretty good.
It's technically 3, but that's okay.
Okay, 3. Yeah, that's true.
Mathematically, but
I got there. I was really impressed with the Templars, though.
I was gonna say, having said that, do you have an MVP for the game?
Ooh, this is tough because every single one of my units did exactly what it was supposed to do. There was no one unit that majorly disappointed me. I'd say. Okay, there's a unit that was an MVP just because he was a star. Yeah. And this was my lone biker. Yes. This was a Primaris Outrider. And it's hard to overstate how much value I got out of him. He never killed anything. He never really shot anything. He never fought anything really. He just stood on a point and he didn't die because he had 4 wounds and he was T5. And he was really cheap, and it prevented me from having to put my Terminators out. And if I had to put my Terminators out, you would have taken them, and that flank would have collapsed. And so he was crucial, just surviving. Yeah. So where everything just did what it was supposed to do, he was a hero. He did what he was supposed to do, and he lived.
That's the thing. And again, in a game that close, that is game winning, like literally, right? And so we see this a lot in 9th edition where we're trading back and forth. So the things that you trade, the amount of time and units that you're buying with that one unit is really important. So for that guy, that unit, but ultimately him to jump up and kind of hold off and gain you that extra turn is so important. So I agree, it's him.
I agree. It was really funny. In a game like this is a more advanced 40K concept, but it's all about trading, and you count the number of assets. Like I have 4, you have 5. So I have to trade 2 for 1 at least once, or I always lose. And this allowed my cheap units allow me to trade up.
And it paid off, right? Because in the end, I'm hiding with my hammer of saws, you're hiding with your hammer of Terminators. Because of him, I had to commit my hammer first. I took the point, and you got your hammer and hit him back. So that's what matters, right?
It's really big. What's your MVP?
It's got to be the Saw Squads of Acolytes.
They're so good.
Every single game, they never fail me. I love them. Just the utility of being able to jump out of vehicles and charge. I did make a charge out of Deep Strike, which I don't normally count on. Yeah. But it's a useful tool to have.
Well, especially with the +1 to charge, it's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
It's just super scary.
It's so scary. But yeah, usually they'll either be in a shock, or as I would have done regardless on this turn, just bring them in the back, out of line of sight, and they can be the ones that come up next turn. But they're awesome. They continue to be the all-stars of the army.
They're so good, especially with the Feel No Pains.
Yeah, and the Invulns, right?
And the Invulns.
You really need that, and that's why Bladed Cog. The way to go.
Was there one big thing you would have done differently in this game that you think would have given you an edge?
Yeah, I wouldn't have the Kellamorph.
Of course.
That was so...
You paid 3 CP to perfect ambush your Kellamorph.
Yeah.
And even in a world where he killed all 5 of my
it was so
intercessors,
not worth it.
It wouldn't have impacted the game at all.
And that kills me, because that was what I would have loved to do in turn 4, but I couldn't, was returning units to the shadows, and then pay 2 CP to come in next to a point in the next turn, right?
That's correct.
And suddenly it's like you have all these things.
You could have come here, you couldn't come even back here.
Exactly.
And, that would have been the game.
So like we said, there's all these instances where it's like when it's that close, these teeny tiny mistakes matter.
The Genestealers rely on the stratagem so much that the idea of burning 3 CP on something that did nothing is it's crippling.
This is a classic mistake, right? Where you have an asset, you want to use it. I got excited because for once I could drop him down and have him do something without really any fear of retribution, right?
That's right.
And so I should have left well enough alone. I was going to already be able to drop down and shoot, which is great. But I was like, no, I can double shoot, use that. It's just not worth it.
It's too much.
Even with the relic. So yeah, for me, that's the big mistake of the game, honestly.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that definitely cost you, and I would have been way more scared if you had more CP in your pocket.
Yeah, 100%.
Because this army with CP is really scary.
Yeah, I debate a Nexos, right? It's kind of 50 points that don't do much, but they do give me regen.
Yeah.
In an army that is burning through a lot.
Yeah.
So
I had I had one big mistake, which was I had my Land Raider touching this building.
Yep.
Initially, which was stopping you from deep striking back here or up here, which is crucial because you could have just scrambled up at the top there. But my Land Raider being there was crucial, and I had a whole plan. And then for some reason, I just moved him 2 inches forward just to rapid fire.
Yeah.
But the rapid fire was worth nothing.
Yeah.
And the deep strike was worth 10 points.
Yeah.
And you would have had very few other ways to do that.
Well, you would have at least cost me 2 command points to drop within 3
inches,
right?
yeah.
That's no joke, like
That's
you were just saying.
And for nothing.
Yeah.
So that was that was a thing, just silly, like little things like that I don't have to do.
Totally.
Honestly,
that
super epic.
Game.
What a great game.
That was amazing.
Bridger, you want to take us through some Q&A?
Let's do some Q's and some A's. Thanks, Oz Macca.
Oh.
Bridger, did you say you play Raven Guard? When will we see them? Raven Guard are the OG Claw Boys. Thanks for being awesome. Adrian and Brian, too.
Yay.
You
should bring your Raven Guard on.
Theoretically own Raven Guard. They're not ready to be played anywhere, really.
They're not even tournament legal.
That's correct. They're not.
Paint-wise, or
I will say there are some.
You should paint. If I paint them, will you bring that list?
There are some low standard tournaments where
he bought them back in the day when like 12 assault centurions were the thing to do.
Only 12 in yours?
Or was it 8?
No, I think I had restraint, Brian.
Yeah.
I had 3 units of 4.
Okay. So 12.
Oh wow. This guy's not even playing Raven Guard.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, yeah.
But yeah, that's you were buying it during that time when it was really, really strong.
Yeah.
But you just never got around to building it, and then the meta shifted, and all those models.
I never got around to painting it.
Sure.
I did build
you built it,
and I did prime it and magnetize it.
Okay.
Well, so your soul was really crushed at the time. Remember, he was really, really sad. He was bummed about Warhammer in general because you play Custodes, and Marines were just dominating.
And Space Marine were just better Custodes.
Yeah,
right?
and at the time, funny enough, the Raven Guard Centurion list was like a Bridger-style Custodes. Like
it was an ABC
list. Yeah, so
turn 1, all in.
By the time you like gave in, the meta had already started to turn.
Yeah.
And then...
That's the problem with chasing competitive 40k.
You gotta be careful.
When you're chasing competitive 40k, it can be a little rough.
You might just end up with 18 Centurions.
That's right.
Centurions. I have 18, but...
Yeah, you do.
I think I own 18. I didn't play it.
It'll be a while. I think when we get a Raven Guard army, Bridger will play it, though.
Oh, nice. Play it very poorly.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Bridger played his first non-custody army ever on Tuesday.
On stream.
On stream.
Played plenty of non-custodial armies.
Which was the Blood Angels.
Yep.
And he made a really good game of it.
That was fun.
That was
a
great game. Highly recommend it. If you're not a member.
Yeah, that's a game worth checking out because it was the debut of the Tyranids, and it was an epic Bridger game.
Yeah.
It was a high-intensity game.
It was great.
That's for sure.
But yeah.
So yeah, if Adrian, if you want to paint them, I can find them. They're in a box somewhere.
I just think it'd be funny because it's so like a terrible list now.
Yeah, it's awful.
Oh, it's real bad now. Thanks, Thor Machine. Bridger, what would it take for you to repaint your boys in gold to boys in Taco Bell? I want to see some Baja Blast power weapons.
You could still give them that. That goes with gold.
I mean, we could just get a new Custodes army and like paint it Baja Blast. I'd be cool with that.
Oh my god.
If we want any excuse to buy more Custodes models, I'm down.
And Vallejo Blue Green, so.
And gotta work on that sponsorship.
Yeah. I think if you look at all their tanks, the like edges of them could easily be burritos.
Yeah.
Right? Or at the very least hard shell tacos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So I feel like you can make a cool conversion there.
All that that smooth space is perfect for like a Taco Bell. Like,
yeah. No, what you do is you get one of the Taco Bell boxes and then glue 2 tacos to the side, and it's basically a Corona's craft carrier.
That's right.
Oh, it is worth mentioning. Thank you for like helping me troubleshoot, chat. You need to have autoplay on to get it to push you from one stream to the other.
Oh, okay.
And if you don't know how to do that on your device, Google it because I can't.
We don't either.
I don't.
I have mine on.
I know
push
how to
all
do
the
it
buttons
in
and see
YouTube,
what happens.
like in a browser, but I can't. Like on an Xbox, I got no clue.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Joseph. Been playing competitive Templars at a bunch of events, taking them to an event this weekend. Divine Protection on 10-man Thunderhammer Terminators.
It's good.
Is that good? What is Divine Protection?
Isn't that the strat to like force you to attack a certain thing?
No.
You don't have that?
I think if I remember correctly,
Let's take a look.
it's no, I don't have
in
the
the
book here, but
because it's in an index.
I thought that this was one of the litanies that makes them really tough. Yeah, so it's good, but you can have big squads like that. I actually have a really cool relic that I never got a chance to use, which gives an aura of invulnerable saves.
Yeah.
I was going to use it on my Vanguard vets,
right?
But because I stayed in my transport so long to keep my Judiciaries safe, they were dead by the time he came out, and the Blade Guard already have 4-ups.
Yeah.
So I'm going to try and experiment in the future where he pairs with the Vanguard vets, and then they all have claws and they have 4-up invulns, which would be really cool.
That's tasty.
It is start a battle round with that relic, so you have to be careful about keeping that relic in a transport.
That's true.
True.
That's right.
Well said.
Alrighty, thanks. Matthew, fellow Canadian here, any tips on making Pure Strain Genestealers work in a GSC list?
Yeah, they're tough, right? Because they just have all the cost and none of the benefits.
That's right.
Like Acolytes are just cheaper.
There is a way to do it.
Don't take them.
No?
Take them as Tyrannid. Yeah, that's true.
Take them as Tyrannid.
That's
there
true,
you go.
That's true. So you take him as Tyrannid. I really like the Swarmlord. I know he's pricey, but it gives you extra just push way downfield.
Yeah, Kraken, Swarmlord.
Crack him. Yep. So honestly, that's what I would do, and I almost did because we have some NIDs. I think
that's right. Now we can do it.
No promises, but once we get some the next batch of the High Fleet Titan,
yeah,
I think I will do a mixed list.
You'll combine them more.
That'll be super fun, and it will have Genestealers because like the NID ones are great.
That's
the
an
juicy ones.
Expensive little detachment though.
Points.
Points.
Yeah, but they're good. It's all
they're good.
Stuff.
It's really good. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, the actual pure strains in this army are not good.
They're just I hope they get revisited. They haven't been good for a while.
They need to be at least as they need to be at least as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make the first curse a good thing and not a bad thing.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you, Max. When is the next Sigmar game? I got these ogres to paint. Any of you have experience against the fat men?
Ooh.
I played against ogres. Yeah, it's cool.
Too.
When is the next Sigmar?
I'm so glad you asked. It is next, a week from today, next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
It's going to be the new Slaanesh Hedon Knights Battle Tome. I do have Sigvald. So I'm going to be running him. I have mostly demons, but I can just add him in. So it's going to be Sigvald and the demons versus, we're not sure yet actually, but something.
Yeah.
Something Brian's going to play. So that's going to be next Thursday.
We're still trying to decide. One of the challenges is, as cool as this new Battle Tome is, it's not necessarily like taking the tournament scene by storm. And if it does, it's not necessarily the list you're bringing, right? And unfortunately, a lot of the armies I have, like my Seraphon and my Tzeentch, as an example, both, even just the models I have, are quite strong, even on their bases. Like, I would actually have a tough time building bad lists. So both those armies, strong, and we want to make it a good game. And we have a hunch that would be a bad game. Now, I'm leaning towards Seraphon, but we have to find a list that works, right?
Where it doesn't work.
Right. We have to find a list that is like not the strongest.
We need to tone it down so much. We tried to tone it down last time.
And it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
Because Nighthaunt's really not good.
Yeah, no, Hedon Knights are definitely better than Nighthaunt. But
yeah.
Personally, again, I'm not like an expert Sigmar player by any means, but I do think that this new Hedon Knights book is kind of worse.
Yeah, right, sure.
So we just want to make sure it's a good game.
Adrian, every time you say that, the internet gets mad.
They're definitely, better experts than me. So we'll play next Thursday. It's going to be Hedon Knights versus something. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited.
And I actually ordered a huge batch of Lumineth Realm Lords. Half of them have arrived, half of them haven't. That army is going to be coming through, so I'm really excited for that. And even if I don't play my Tzeentch in the next game, we'll play my Tzeentch in the future, and then my Realm Lords, and so much cool stuff coming there. We're going to get Mega Gargants.
Yep.
So we've got so much to look.
are on their way.
Karajan
I have a bunch of Sigmar armies that just need a bit of refurbishing.
Yeah.
And some of them will be able to hang a bit better with these, right?
Yeah.
So it'll be cool.
We're definitely going to, I think this year you're going to see us pick it up a lot more, make it a lot more often, because we love it and we just want to get more armies. And,
It's funny because like the first 2 games we did for the reaching goals, right?
Yeah.
The sub goals, and then we're like, kind of really like playing this on the
yeah.
channel. So
it's not as popular of a game on YouTube, but we love playing it so much. So and we have a lot of fun with it. There's like this trick right now because the competitive AOS is a game that is totally interesting and really good and cool, but it's not necessarily my favorite to watch because it's over so fast. And it's like one person takes this cool army with thousands of abilities, so rad, and then they instantly die and don't get to use any of them. And that required a lot of really clever, interesting play from one person.
Yeah.
The other person got to do nothing.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's what the tournaments look like a lot of the time, and that's not cool.
We have to be careful.
So we want to build games that are gonna like be a fight the whole time, and Sigmar is not well balanced to do that, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's tougher for us to balance. We are ridiculously intimate with all the 40k armies and the nuances. With the Sigmar stuff, they're so complicated. Yeah, and we don't. Yeah.
One of the things I've been doing is I've just been watching a ton of Sigmar battle reports because I just like it. Yeah. I like to see the models and the armies and the weird abilities. But the more I watch, the more I'm like, okay, another instant win, another instant win.
So you like all 40 minutes of those bat reps?
Yeah, yeah. It's just big plays. So.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, I have a question for you boys.
Oh.
We didn't do Variant Human because Discord was flickering on and off.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to do it now? Do you want to save it for Saturday?
Up to you, Mr. Producer.
It's up to me?
4 up.
But I asked you.
Nope, Saturday.
Okay, Saturday it is.
It's like, what does it mean if you get a 4
What does it mean?
I knew in my head what it was.
That's true.
Alrighty, thank you. Did we answer the Ogre question?
Yeah, we just now.
We have fought against them. It was a fun game. I played my Tzeentch against them, which was funny because it was after the changes to summoning. Right. So it was like constantly summoning like lots of little horrors, and they just don't care about them. They're just like kush, kush, kush. Like I'm throwing a bunch of like, you know, obsec models on the board for that mission, and then they're just like punching through, and they count as like wounds for their. And it was a really cool game. So yeah. I
like the classic ogres more than the I like the Maw tribes more than I like the riders, the Beast Claw Raiders. Yeah. You don't see too many of those armies.
You like the Iron Guts.
The Iron Guts. Yeah. That's what I like. I like the Iron Guts.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's a really rad
more
army.
Traditionally.
Oh, they're my jam.
Yeah. The Stonehorns.
Yeah. They're cool. Also but it's just not my favorite.
They need a design on them.
They're my different jam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's like a Thursday jam and a Saturday jam.
Yeah. If you can't tell, it's between this and the Giants.
This is the army that Bridger wants to start.
Those are my 3
The cool
factions.
thing is you can do both and like mix and match.
Yeah.
You know,
and they go well together.
Yeah.
Totally. It's all just a lot of flesh.
Yeah. Awesome. My favorite.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chillhammer Studios. Your sweater matches this chat box, and I love it. Also, I'm a Thousand Suns and Alpha Legion player, so here's my money.
Yeah, which also kind of matches your sweater.
That's right. Yeah, it's a brand new sweater. I've been breaking a lot of the new sweaters. New armies, new sweaters. You got to do it.
That's right.
Alrighty, thank you, Aaron. I'm in the painful process of creating a Zote army. Any advice on how I'd figure out points, etc.?
Wow. How to figure out points?
Like they have to write a codex because Zotes don't exist anymore.
Right.
I'll tell you the way I like to do this, okay? Because I've done this kind of thing a number of times. The way I like to do this is not write my own rules, which you could do. I like to take another codex and use them as count as.
Right.
And that way you could legally play them, and it's already balanced and things like that. So you find a data sheet somewhere that best represents your Zotes, and then you go from there.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree. That's a great way to do it.
Good answer, Brian. Thanks, Magnus. Did nothing wrong. What is your opinion on the Death Guard FAQ? Happy about the Demon Prince change. Confused about an extra rule advance.
Oh my god.
Pretty sure reducing the distance a model can move is modifying it, but somehow not. Pretty whack.
Okay. The Demon Prince thing. Let's start with the good news.
Okay, that was we were saying this new speed changed. Absolutely, it's great.
Fantastic. Awesome. If you don't know what this meant, is before you could either have just one thing called Lord of the Death Guard, so you could have just like a Lord or just a Demon Prince, but not both. It forced you into taking a Psyker.
Yeah.
Now, Demon Prince does not count as a Lord.
Right.
So you could have a Demon Prince and then one other.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is great.
So the idea is, you can have like a Lord, a Demon Prince, and a Caster. Right.
Yeah. Super cool.
And the way it was written, it was very clearly a mistake, but you know, at the time, I'm glad they fixed it.
So glad.
Some people were surprised, which I was like, how are you surprised? Anyways.
The rest of the FAQ feels like a swing and a miss.
Well, the inexorable advance, this is a cool special rule that Death Guard have where you basically can't slow them down, right? So there's things like
apparently not.
There's things like Tanglefoot grenades, and there's things like particularly.
No, that one actually does.
That's the deepest Pandora's box.
No, okay.
Tanglefoot works.
Not on the charge.
What?
Huh?
Not on the charge.
What do you mean?
Or, sorry, it works on the charge. Doesn't work on the. Everybody's upset about Tanglefoot. Tanglefoot like doesn't work in any way that you would expect it to. Is the way they wrote the rule now.
Well, because Tanglefoot reduces your charge distance, not your move distance. Is that what you're saying? Or
it reduces.
That's why it works.
Because that's
the charge distance, not the result of the charge.
Whatever. We know their intention.
Oh, that's a.
We know their intention. Yeah. So we have all these things like craters and woods and all these things that are minus to charge. And it's actually really cool that they have this ability because they've always kind of been a little slow, and having them march up through the trees and the craters. Great, cool, flavorful rule. Perfect. And then they fact it to be like, no, it like doesn't do that.
They say it only affects things that modify your move characteristic. So, for example, forests, for example, are -2 to your overall amount that you would move. It's not a minus to your characteristic.
It doesn't make your movement from a 5 to a 3.
Yeah, it's just whatever you were going to move. Maybe and the reason is because it's like an advance could be part of this. If the result is -2, and this basically the death card don't ignore that anymore.
Right.
Which
this
again,
is horrible.
They're clarifying what they meant. What they meant, we don't think is good for the. It's not cool. It's not interesting.
I don't even think that's what they meant.
I mean, they're pretty clearly saying it.
No. I think the person who wrote this fact is wrong.
Oh,
I genuinely believe the person who wrote this fact wrote it in error. I think there was some sort of mix-up, some sort of miscommunication, and I think
fascinating.
I'll bet they worded
not even remotely
wrong.
the first time they have done this. They have made facts many times. They've retracted them within like minutes. They clearly like printed it, made a PDF, stylized it, and it was like wholly wrong.
Yeah.
Right? It was like the exact opposite of what they meant.
I hope you're right, and I hope it gets fixed.
And if they didn't mean it to mean the thing that we always thought, then it's not interesting.
It's a joke.
It's completely awful.
It's a non-rule.
It wasn't even game breaking. It was just cool.
It was just cool.
It was good, but
good.
cool.
It was flavorful.
Yeah. And it fit their thing. So now I dislike it. So I really, really hope they fix it. I'm definitely going to be like, I know people. I will be emailing them, being like, "Hey, what?"
Yeah.
So,
but not until after you stop emailing them about Tau.
Yeah.
I've long since stopped. I've long since stopped.
Also,
they know all my opinions about Tau. They've acknowledged them. They've like, yes.
They're probably not even
received.
Yeah.
Please stop.
They're not going to read his inexorable advance email because they're just.
They've got a spam filter for me.
Sir, this is a Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Please stop asking us about Tau.
Oh gosh.
All right, thanks, Nick. I love the little narrative bits you guys add to the games, like the biker dudes leaning on their bikes, like we're dominating.
That's right. Thank you.
That is our narrative.
It is. It's the important thing, right? Like we're playing the game we're imagining.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's great.
He really was dominating.
Yeah, he's just like.
He was actually. The truth is, he was hiding behind his bike.
Yeah.
They were like shooting at him, and he's like, "Oh, jeez."
Oh wait, before we go on, the one other thing about the DG thing. Was the one that you brought up earlier. Basically, your Forge World units do not have the contagion rule. Ergo, you cannot use the outbreak to put the other contagion onto them. So just personal shout out, because you said that early on, and you're right. And it gets rid of all of that shenanigans of like a flyer with the droning, and it's like, that's all gone. So that's a good thing.
I love the quote hot take of Goonhammer. They're like, yeah, we didn't think it was good anyway.
They were the ones that surprised me because they were like, and then they randomly let you take a demon prince with the Lord. I was like, Goonhammer, why? That's so obvious. Like, I was like reading, like, yep. Surprised?
Yeah. That said, it was clear to me that you did not get your special rule, but they should fact them to give you your special rule.
Truth be told, yes.
Okay?
I agree.
That's the way they should have done it.
Yeah.
You should get your special rule, and they should fact to add it. And that was because they wrote that book before they wrote the other books. So they probably didn't even know about contagions when they wrote.
They could have moved that one line of FAQ though to make it, an allowance rather than a dismissal, right?
Exactly.
It's the same.
That's two in the same FAQ where they could have allowed and they restricted.
That's true.
Thanks, Kai. Hey Titans, which Primarch has the most common sense, and why is it the Khan?
The Khan?
I don't know if it's the Khan. He's very driven by emotion, in my opinion. Right?
They're all lacking common sense. That's
most
why
of them are.
The books are the way
Most
they
of them
are.
I think. Like I said, they're supposed to be geniuses.
They make a lot of bad decisions.
They're really dumb guys.
They are very driven by emotion. The Khan is not. I don't know if he has the most common sense. He's definitely done some questionable things.
I think he's up there though. I think obviously Gilliman's up there.
It's supposed to be his. That's supposed to be his specialty.
Yeah.
Dorn is supposed to be his specialty as well. It's just like logic, being a thoughtful planner.
Dorn is not particularly level-headed.
He thinks he's is.
Stubborn.
Yeah, I know.
But he's
stubborn. They fly off the handle and they.
Yeah. Exactly. I think Dorn, Vulcan.
Maybe Vulcan.
Sure.
Well, I don't know. That's just because to me, Vulcan's a bland dude.
He's never done anything too stupid.
Right.
Which is good. He did just decide like, I'm just gonna leave and come back when you find my scavenger hunt. I don't know if that's a lot of common sense. You know what I mean? Common sense would say, stay and help the Imperium.
Yeah.
Don't make elaborate galaxy-wide scavenger hunt for your salamanders. So that's not a lot of common sense. You know what I mean?
That's true. That's true.
They've done all kinds of dumb.
They're all pretty dumb.
They built a maze to put.
So let's give it to Khan.
Khan, yeah.
All right, Khan, you got it.
Right. It has to be a loyalist because all the chaos ones clearly have no common sense.
Well, there was a lot of common sense in joining the War Master, to be honest with you. It was clear he
maybe
had the upper hand.
Alfarius.
Well, especially at the beginning.
Alfarius
Before you
might
knew
have
that
the
there were
most
like
common
demons
sense.
involved, it was just like, yeah, we should totally lead a coup against this father that doesn't love us, you know?
It all kind of checked out.
And then they're like,
we conquered the galaxy, and he's just going to get rid of us.
yeah.
You know?
Which is what's great about those books, right? Is like,
It's very
especially in the
believable.
beginning, you're like, I totally get it, right? And that's like the challenge of like, how do you take these like monsters that we had throughout our whole lives of playing Warhammer and make them like believable people that either were tricked or betrayed or it seemed logical at the time.
Totally.
Yeah.
It was good. They did well.
Alfarius, most common sense.
We can never know what Alfarius is thinking.
I think Alfarius has great
You know what?
common sense.
I like it. Alfarius. I'll give it.
Because he never makes a mistake.
He made some smart moves.
Yeah.
That boy made some moves.
He's calculating.
He did it. I'm with it.
We did it.
I would not presume to know.
Better than Con.
Better than that. We'll give it to him.
Thanks. Rumi, update. Lady Olinder Prince finished for my Zinch. Gonna take a break from the Zinch as my heart for the next few weeks goes to my true love, Slaanesh.
Slaanesh!
What a great army.
Oh
yeah, I love the new models as well.
So cool.
That guy on the Palanquin.
Yeah.
He's so crazy.
He's so great. Oh my god.
This is why we love Age of Sigmar, because they just get to do things like that. And who doesn't want to paint and build and play with models like that?
Great.
It's really great.
I'm trying to pace myself. I was like, I'm not going to buy more until I paint it. And then I built and painted Sigvald the next day. I was like, well, you know.
You had to paint Sigvald. Sigvald's so cool.
Yeah.
I almost bought an epic Age of Sigmar model like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
I was like hovering over the buy. It was the Dread Saurian.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I've wanted that for a very long time.
You should get it.
But it's a lot of points, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, like they killed its data sheet or something like that.
You see, Brian, our trouble with your Seraphon right now is not that
I was
they're
gonna
too
say,
weak.
This sounds perfect.
You could make a nice and terrible list with a Dread Saurian, and
I bet you would
you
still
would
wreck.
love it. You'd love it. I'd love it. Adrian would love it.
I know.
I'd love it.
One of these days I'll
You
get a
should do
Dread
it.
Saurian. I've always wanted it.
Yeah, it's a really cool model. It's a big model too.
It's big. That's why I like it. I like crazy big models.
Alrighty. Thank you, William. I want to convert a Nightbringer out of Nagash holding the Night Gaunt Endless Spell Scythe.
Awesome. What?
I'm worried, though, about the base size when using.
Just a bit.
Yeah, so you would have to downsize them, and you'd want to downsize them, because one of the superpowers of them is they are obscurable. They are obscurable. But they're not character blocked.
Yeah.
So the small model is good. Unfortunately, I know it's all amazing, like whirly swishiness, but just trim all that down. Just use the big body, right? It's still cool. Like,
it is still really cool.
Yeah. It's also a giant scythe from the Endless Spell.
Yes, that's true.
That thing is huge.
Yeah. It's epic. I like
would
what
have
you're doing there.
He'd be holding it down. Actually, yeah, no. So you have him holding it down.
Yeah.
And that's actually what attaches him to the base, to the scythe.
Oh, that's cool. So he's like floating.
Yeah, and then you're not also creating extra line of sight problems.
Yeah,
I dig it.
There's a really cool creature caster model that works well for it.
So cool.
I wanted to get it, but it was out of stock.
It's really hard to get. That one's also big.
I know it's big, but it's not obscene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is huge. It is pretty big.
All right. Thank you, Sean. Greetings, Titans. I am playing Farside Enclave in my GT League, playing against Salamanders on GT Mission Battle Lines. What secondaries?
Ooh.
So your Farside Enclaves and
Salamanders?
Battle Lines. Let me pull up what Battle Lines is.
So we're going to see if the Battle Line secondaries
were played today.
That's so
Is that what this one is? So Vital Ground is not good for you.
Don't take that.
So don't take the mission-specific one. Tau are very, very good at engaging on all fronts. They're actually pretty zippy and quick. If you have enough drones, depending on the nature of your army, you could do a behind enemy lines instead.
Just be pushing.
Yeah, and this is a deep deployment zone. So behind enemy lines can be really key, especially you're deep striking back there, you drop some drones and stuff.
That's true.
You're picking up points real fast.
I like that.
And it doesn't... engaging on all fronts forces you to get up early, where that you can pick up points later game and get a little more from it.
Very true.
So I like that one. You can tech into while we stand if you're careful.
Yes, 100%. Especially on that kind of map, this map, where it's actually quite, like we saw here, I was able to kind of hold in the back.
Yeah.
And I would have liked to take while we stand and we fight, because it's the kind of mission where they have to kind of play in the middle.
Yeah.
It's so contested. You're going to be able to blast them off at least one of those 2 points, right?
Yeah.
I like that.
You can scrambler with Tau very easily, and I'll give you a couple reasons why. One of the key things is stealth teams. So stealth teams can scramble in your opponent's deployment zone turn 1. That's impressive.
Wow.
They can easily deploy or scramble in the center turn 1, and then move up around to get back there. If you have Devilfish, you can easily zip a Devilfish up the board, drop a unit out in the back and do it. You could outflank units. This is a deep deployment zone, so you could easily outflank. So Scramblers is very reliable for
especially against Marines here.
Yes.
Because they're elite.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thanks, Devin. Question for you guys: with using Grey Knights, would a Storm Raven be viable if it's Edict Imperator to fly close up, power fire, then fly off the board every turn? Oh.
So
you
fly
move,
off with that?
shoot, move.
Yeah.
Because a normal move after. Edict Imperator lets you move after.
Yeah.
So you can fly off the board.
And it's a normal move now.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I thought they
Is it
had
good?
specifically fact flyers not coming on and off the table in the same turn.
On and off, yes. But turn 1, you could shoot and then fly off.
Turn 1, yeah.
Turn 2, you can come on, shoot, but then you can't move again because you
That's right.
deep struck.
You deep struck, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's as...
It's not abusive.
No.
Is it good?
It's interesting.
If you want to play a Storm
good,
Talon,
Yeah.
The problem is it could still die turn 1.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not.
Storm Raven.
It's a fire magnet, but it obviously started way far back. A lot of people these days have really good tank killing at 24 because everyone's taking Meltas these days instead of las cannons. So it might survive, and it's kind of cool. Like it's cute.
I don't know if it's the power itself that takes it to the next level. But I think it's an interesting unit.
If you
with
want to play a Storm Raven,
model.
yeah.
this is a tactic you could use.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Absolutely,
It's a tactic you could use. It's a very expensive model.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Omnisci Sphinx.
Thank you.
Have you all ever played in Kansas City? I've never even been to Kansas City.
Me neither.
I don't think so. I drove through a lot of states,
Yeah.
but I don't think I ever like stopped and did much. I think I like stopped in many of them and ate it like Cracker Barrels on like trips and stuff.
Monster.
But that's about it.
No.
A lot of
Same
bacon.
way. Yeah.
You could put a lot of bacon on your plate at a Cracker Barrel.
Okay, you got me sold.
Yeah, so when I was like 17 and just piled it up.
When things open up again, though, one of my favorite things to do is travel for tournaments.
Yeah, it's
so
fun.
much fun. So again, in another world.
We'll do it.
All right, thanks, Chronix. TTT, stand up. Why do Adrian's friends refuse to play card games with him?
Oh. Okay, why?
Because his hand is always 4 aces.
Oh!
Because aces are 1s.
Yeah.
You roll 1s, Adrian.
Yeah. I'll tell you for a fact it doesn't work like that with me. It's adaptive
to the game.
Terrible luck. Yeah.
Is there anything that you're lucky at? Is there something that drains all your luck from the rest of your game playing?
I'm just, a lucky guy. Lucky to have my wife, There you go.
There you go. That's the right answer.
There you go. Hopefully she's watching.
Send this clip. Send it to her.
That's right. Clip it. Send it.
Thanks, Zebo. Any tips on airbrushing with typhus corrosion? I'm getting not so good results.
I've never tried it. That would be weird.
I've never tried airbrushing that one.
Because it's a technical paint, right?
So I think you should paint it on. Don't airbrush it.
I agree.
Yeah, unless you develop a particular technique for it, I would just follow the
I
technique.
have no idea how that would even come out.
Nope, no idea.
Yeah.
Alrighty, thanks, Kiddo Crew. I heard some TOs are banning Codex Secondaries. What are your thoughts on this? And
wow.
do you think it's something that will stay even after more codexes?
I haven't heard about this.
I'm so against any kind of comp. I think the game should be played as out of the box as possible. And if we're not going to play it out of the box, I think everyone needs to not play it out of the box. This is why I was okay with ITC. But I don't like comps that we're even seeing things like, oh, if you're a certain faction, you get more victory points or less. I'm so against comps. The game is constantly changing. We have such a limited audience right now with the tournaments. I just think it's not a good time to be doing any of that. The only exception is maybe not allowing multiple Codex-specific secondaries.
Well, here's a rephrasal of the question. If everybody in the world were to play with no Codex Secondaries, would you think the game is better?
No.
No.
It's way more boring.
So it's more, is it more balanced? Like, maybe, but those books were also written specifically to have those as part of it.
Yeah.
And the game is never balanced, so you're just choosing an arbitrary line to draw the balance on.
Yeah.
Competitive Warhammer is not about every faction having a chance.
Correct.
It's not what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about, like, you play what you want. These people over here will play the top 6 factions, and they have a chance.
It's true.
Right.
And you, unless you're playing one of those factions, like, do your best, have fun. These people are playing to win. These people are playing for fun. That is how it works.
Yes.
Agreed. And, lots of games aren't balanced. It's like you look at a bunch of, like, soccer teams. The teams aren't balanced at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, these 4 have a chance of winning. These ones are just going to give it their all.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm fine with it.
Totally agree.
But to your point, the more you comp the game, the less you encourage GW to fix it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
And we want GW to just fix it. Like, do I think that they should limits you to 1 Codex secondary. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I even think that if you're Blood Angels, you should be banned from taking the Space Marine secondaries.
Ooh, yes.
I think you should only have access to 3 or 4.
Yeah.
The whole idea is the more choice itself is strength, not even just picking 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Choice itself is too much strength.
Exactly.
So
I support you so much.
I actually think that's the change they need to make, and maybe they will one day.
Yeah. When it's time.
Yeah.
And there'll be something else broken at the time.
Yeah,
that's the game.
There'll be a bigger
That's
problem
any
than that.
game. Yeah.
Alrighty, thanks, Daniel. Are guard brigades viable or double basilisk? Hold on, wait just a moment,
Okay.
because this was $2, and then somebody immediately after super chatted the same thing again. Thank you, Matthew, asking for a friend. Are guard brigades viable or double basilisk?
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Guard is one of the few armies that could do a brigade without suffering too much, because they have cheap every choice.
Yeah.
And often it's often one of the better ways to go.
Yeah, agreed. You just get more of those slots, especially even like troops, right?
You need more than 6 troops
You're
sometimes,
maxing out immediately.
and you need often more than 3 HQs,
Yeah.
especially when you have so many troops, because you need more orders, but you also want tank commanders. So battalion, very, very viable.
Yeah, you need your 3 tank commanders.
Yeah, you gotta have them. Where's the other orders come from? You don't actually need 3, but you definitely need like at least 2.
Right. I think it's cool, and 2 basilisks, totally fine.
You know what we like better?
3 starts to get more extreme.
We like manticores.
Manticores.
Yeah.
They seem like just better basilisks at this point.
Yeah.
Does the strength 9 matter? Nah.
No.
Strength 10, does it matter? Yes.
Does the limited shots matter? Not
No.
really.
It's a 5-turn game.
Yeah.
You
No,
need 5
fine.
turns to
That's
shoot
true.
for.
It's good. So the Manticore is better, and is the Manticore even also super cool? Yeah. You got giant missiles.
It's pretty cool.
The Basilisk is so classic, though.
I like it.
But they're both good. I would take the Manticore over it. The Manticore can't be taken in units, so it eats up a lot more slots. So it's something to watch out for.
True.
I would even take the Basilisk's 3rd after the Wyvern.
Because
So
Blast is so powerful.
Well, yeah,
Because
it's
Blast is
different-
so powerful, yeah.
Because you also need a diversity of weapons.
Oh,
right?
Manticore's
So,
Blast?
what?
Please tell me Manticores are Blast.
They might be, but
Oh, that's so
When
good.
you're gonna
there's
blast-
rarely a perfect target for that, but
What?
it's cool when you can get it.
they're
That's
like,
so
that person
good.
that takes 6 blade guard in a unit, you're gonna get it real good.
Yeah, you're
That
gonna
would
get
that
it.
would show them.
No one
That
does
would
nothing
get it.
wrong
That would
with
show them, though.
Yeah, they deserve
And
it.
the
Flat
thing
3
is,
damage
we like
Manticore?
the full payload,
Yeah.
which gives them flat 3 damage. Flat 3 damage is so
So
magical.
So good.
Yeah,
Good
and
against
there's the
Death
strat
Guard?
for +1 to hit with the Manticore as well.
If you have line of sight, yeah.
If you have line of sight, which a
Great.
lot of times you can because they have long range.
Yeah,
So, anyways, Manticores.
Manticores. Our artillery of
This
choice.
person's like, well, I have 2 basilisks, so
The
thanks.
Basilisk, the Basilisk is completely playable.
Yeah.
Don't get disheartened. Measure its success over the whole game, not over 1 turn.
For many games.
Yeah. The thing is, you will often go a game with it not doing much. It's there to like scare your opponent almost more than it is to do its thing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty, thanks, Lawrence. Hey guys, thanks for circling back and answering my Death Watch Eradicator question. Next, what models would you use to build a Men of Iron army led by UR025? That's the Black Fortress. guy.
Yeah. Well,
I love that model.
It's gotta be Admech,
it has to
right?
be Admech, doesn't it?
Of course.
So Dakabots?
So who leads the army?
Dakabots? No, UR025 leads.
Oh, is he a character?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I thought he was like.
I don't know if he's an
something.
HQ, but he's a character.
Well,
I
we're gonna
understand.
have to like we're gonna have to basically proxy everything else. So he could be
So-
he could be Call.
You could like if you buy
On the base.
like 40 of him,
Yeah.
and then you use the
All right.
and then you have an army of him.
That is the most expensive thing you've proposed, maybe in the history of us playing this game.
That's more expensive than Blood Angel Vinatari. But I'm listening.
Okay,
Continue.
it sounds. I bet you can find
It's
them
like
on
a
eBay.
$200
Yeah,
box.
they are lots of points.
And they're on eBay. Maybe you could get them. No, what I'm saying is you don't actually run them as their data sheet. You run them as like cataphrons or something.
Yeah, totally.
Like that. They'd be really rad as cataphrons.
You get one per like $200 box.
Yeah. No, buy them on eBay or something. Start a collection. You know what I mean?
You know, the auction for 100 UR025s. I see that auction all the time.
No, I'm saying you have to. You'll work at it. Get on it.
So mean.
Shooting down my dreams.
Yeah,
Now I'm just gonna have to go do it just to show him.
No, this person wanted UR025 as himself leading an army. What's in the army?
So lead the cataphrons. Because
Uh-huh.
they're all like
Dakabots.
robot people.
It's gotta
and
be
then-
Dakabots.
And
Yeah.
Dakabots.
Yeah, totally.
Cataphrons and Dakabots.
I would just do more conversions to make them all Men of Iron. So like the cataphrons make them look or feel like they're fully robotic, not just like servitors. You could even just paint the skin like metal, right?
Or have a floating head in a jar.
That'd be
so they are servitors, but they're like very, very robot.
One of them's like Ferris Manus in there.
Yeah, that's right.
Pretty cool.
That's good.
Thanks. Torrential, hey Titans, what MTG mechanic best represents your favorite Space Marine Legion? I'm a certified Magic judge, and I'm not looking forward to some of these rules questions. So I've thought about this.
Okay.
Oh, you cheated.
Well, yeah, I saw it a long time ago.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so I have two. Nightpack Ambusher is like the epitome of Salamanders. He comes out of nowhere, builds an army of little men, and he makes his little men better. Nightpack Ambusher is like, he is Raven Guard, and then pretty much just haste. So like Flash for Raven Guard is the keyword, and then haste for Blood Angels.
So I was actually thinking haste as well, but I was going to give it to my Whites cars for the advance and charge. Yeah. So that one was actually where I was leaning to.
Dig it.
It's going to be Defender for...
Yes.
Lots of 04 walls.
Wall. It's just wall. Yeah, the Defender.
The wall. Yeah, not even the Defender part. Just the wall.
The wall keyword.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
That's my boys.
That's a good one.
Pretty good.
You did it.
All right, thanks DS28. Please wish me luck. My Deathwatch army is on delivery.
Ooh.
I am now also going Imperial Knights in Deathwatch colors. Will post when completed. As always, great game, boys. Maybe a stream with some adult beverages sometime.
Thank you. Oh, I will drink all the adult beverages because these guys don't.
Yeah, both Bridger and I don't drink at all.
Well, I would say Coca-Cola is a beverage for adults.
It's so funny because like I don't drink soda. I'm like, it's so much sugar. Like it's so bad for you. Give me a beer.
Yeah, Bridger and I don't drink at all.
Yeah.
We drink soda.
Yeah, sure. We like a good sugar beverage.
Indeed.
Why not?
All right, thanks, James. Hey, Titans. You're all warped into Mortal Realm. Must take part in a massive multi-army battle. What troop type are you and why? I'm an Ogre because they're awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Ogres, the Iron Guts are the only people who can eat Taco Bell and survive. Like, and you would use it to summon magic. Like, right?
Right.
That is actually how that would work. So
that's funny.
I think that's absolutely accurate.
I like it. I'm a troop. So I'd be like a regular battle line, a goblin. Nice. Because they think they can do sneaky stabbing and like do weird tricks, but it always fails.
Yeah,
and so
that's good. I would try to be like a Lumineth Sentinel. That's the bow guys.
Yeah,
and I've always loved archery, and I would always go for that. They got like the triple string.
I know it's easy when you have 3 strings.
Yeah, exactly. There's mortal wounds on 5s, brah.
All right, thanks. Your waifu's trash playing Blood Angels. Do you feel it's worth it to take Sanguinor solely for the potential intervention and Angel Sacrifice to turn a fight, or is he too expensive for an anti-melee tech piece? You bring him because you want to bring him.
No, the threat will throw a lot of people off. Like, it'll throw some people off their game.
But is he worth it?
No.
To what extent? Is it the most competitive
Only bring him
option?
because you want it.
Like, would you put it in your competitive list?
It's not the only reason. I disagree with that. I agree with what Brian said. It's not the only reason, because it does have value play-wise, but it doesn't make it into my most competitive list.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
It doesn't make it into my top 4 most competitive lists.
All right, thanks, Brian. You betrayed me there.
For real. If you put it into your competitive list, would you be significantly downgrading it? No, you wouldn't. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
It wouldn't make it into my top 4,
yeah.
But if you put it into yours, you're not handicapping yourself. You're giving yourself a unique tool that I think a lot of people will struggle with. And
it's the threat, too.
The threat is huge.
It keeps you so much safer. You'll have people who will be like,
well, I won't charge because X. And it's like, good.
You'd be like 5 intercessors. And that intercessor squad is so much more like immune than it ever was before.
Yeah, right.
So, yeah, I agree.
It's, and it's cool. It's cool. He's a cool epic model. If you saw the last game I played with him, he did nothing.
That wasn't his fault. That was your fault.
That was my fault. I forgot one of his rules or whatever.
Oh,
he
that's
was
true.
Supposed to be doing mortal wounds on 6s.
You rolled really bad, too.
I rolled horribly. He let me down. I'll bring him. He can stay on the shelf as a timeout for a little while.
Yeah.
And I'll bring him in a few games from now, and he can try to redeem himself.
In exactly 5 games, I believe.
I'll bring him in 5 games. That's his timeout.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Mika. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad of an idea is it to run Shield Captain, 5 Alaris, and 6 Custodian Guard in Orion, and 6 Venatari and a Grav Carrier? Venatari fly, bro. Why are you putting them in a transport? They're like literally faster than the transport.
They're roughly the same speed. No, I think they're 2 inches slower.
Sometimes you get tired. You just want to take a ride.
If you want to bring these models,
saving fuel, you know,
go for it. But I think it's a pretty bad idea.
The Orion doesn't play 9th edition, in my opinion.
I'd say Orion's like a 4. The Grav Carrier is like a 3.
It's true.
Okay.
Like in terms of unit
and the reason
value.
the Orion is interesting at all is because it can just start blasting, right?
Yeah.
And its transport capacity is the least interesting thing about it, because it's a huge liability, and you're telegraphing where all your stuff is going really far in advance, and I don't know. But it's a cool model.
Yeah. What Bridger said, if you want to, you will do this because you want to do this.
It's
and
a
that is a
gunboat.
perfectly good reason. But tactically, no.
Tactically, it's not that.
They're both pretty bad.
Yeah.
A really good player will be able to run circles around it.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Thanks, Denver. Hey, Titans. I have around 60 guardsmen left over from supplementing my Dark Angels in 8th. What would you suggest I buy to turn those guardsmen into a strong army? Any tips on how to play them? You rock.
Good question.
So 60 guardsmen. That's about the normal number of guardsmen in most guard armies that I've ever put together.
Yep. You just need tanks after that.
Bulgrin.
Oh, we do need Bulgrin.
Yeah, the Bulgrin Astropath combo is pretty clutch.
Kind of essential if you want to truly compete with
You get a priest in there.
You could. You don't need it, though.
I dig it. I dig priests.
Yeah, you need some tanks.
Yeah, you need some tanks.
Like the tank commanders are solid.
Yep.
They work best with demolishers.
Hey, you know what else we like?
Yep.
Manticores.
Manticores.
The Manticores.
And again, that is, you're talking about diversity of types of shots. So like probably one Wyvern, a couple Manticores.
A couple Chimeras with flamers are good.
Yeah, we really like Chimeras.
And you could double flamer on them.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
They're like transports that shoot as much as Hellhounds.
Even Hellhounds are good.
Hellhounds are okay. They explode in your army. Really easily.
Yours do.
No, they explode on 4-ups, and they're really easy to kill. So you like deploy them, and then people just shoot them. And if you hide them, they have such short range that they're not flaming anything. So it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't. The Chimera is better because it's almost as much fire. It's transporting, and it doesn't explode on a 4-up and kill your army.
I really like Chimeras. They're great.
Yeah, the Chimera is solid.
Alrighty, thanks, Edward. How do you feel about the Magic 40k crossover? I learned over the course of this show that it is like the Walking Dead crossover. It is a commander-only expansion. It is not for standard, which I love. I dig it. I still think it's weird that we're going to have guns and magic.
And it's standalone? Like, you don't mix and match magic cards with it, or you can?
You can in Commander. It's only legal in Commander and, like, unlimited sets or unlimited formats, which is like Canadian Highlander and stuff.
Right, but the majority of the cards, or all of the cards, they're not specifically Commander, right?
Correct. You can play them.
It's just intended for that.
They're just not legal in the majority of formats.
Yeah.
Well, we will play, like, if it's at all cool, we will play a game of it.
We can play Commander, because these are going to be pre-con decks.
Yeah.
And I would love to play that.
Let's do that.
That'd be great. We should do
Let's do it. When's it coming out? John, let us know. We'll figure it out.
All right. Yeah. Awesome. Great. It's still weird that we're going to have guns and magic, though. That, I don't like.
I feel you.
Thanks, TL. Do you guys still take Tactical Marines, or have they had their time in the sun playing Raven Guard and using 3 squads of 6 in Las Cannon Razorbacks?
Yeah, I think they had their time. We talked about the benefits of them early on in the edition, and as it has evolved, we just haven't been using them, right? With the exception, and they're not truly Tac Marines, but the Space Wolf kind of troop slots. The Blood Claws are interesting.
If you had to take Tac Marines, what would you do?
Just running cheap? What's the question?
No, like which army? I'll tell you. Tac Marine, like, here's what I would do.
I know what I'd do.
I have an idea.
Okay.
I would take maybe 2 Razorbacks with Ultramarines, because they're really good. They got the fallback and shoot, whatever. That's great. And then inside those Razorbacks, I would take 5-man squads with like a multi-melt in it. And so I move and shoot without penalty. I come out. I got a multi-melt to upfield. I got some OPSEC on the point. I don't really care if I lose them too much.
Right.
Can you take a multi-melter or just a melta-gun?
I think it's just a melta-gun.
Whatever. It's much less interesting.
Yeah.
But I would, try
I like
them
with.
Oh, you can take a combi melta, Brian.
What?
Yeah, melta-gun and combi melta are the same range, right? Both 12 and
They're the same. You can take combi weapons on the sergeant.
Maybe, sure.
Perhaps on the sergeant.
So
but anyways, that's what I do. I'd put like a melta in the squad. Come out of my. I think it could work.
I like it with salamanders for that. For the 1 reroll.
With the 1 reroll too. Yeah.
I also think it's interesting. So our friend Nick in his Raven Guard army, he actually has been occasionally running dev squads with just a couple special weapons just for the strats. So it's like you can chuck out mortal wounds on 2 different kind of targets, and they're just cheap bodies that sit at the back. I think it's interesting. He gets to use his like
it's a lot of
models.
utility.
Yeah. So That's it's not attack squad, but it's the same model.
They're not the heart of your army though. That's for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I will say the big difference between Primaris and Attack Marines is the one attack. That's like the big difference now.
And the rend.
And the guns.
And the rend on the bolter.
But like
transhuman.
Okay, there's a lot of differences, but the classic
fight
difference,
twice, shoot
It's
twice.
pretty big, though.
the original difference of one attack and one wound,
Uh-huh.
which the one wound's gone. The
Uh-huh.
one attack is huge.
It is.
How often are your intercessors in combat? Literally every game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And their fighting matters a lot, but also just the AP on the bolter. Like if you're an Ultramarines, you go into AP2 for a bunch of the game. It's big. AP2 is big.
It's a big deal.
That's like most Terminators go into their invuln. It's like it's all you need.
Yep.
Alrighty. Thank you, Gasgol, Mag, or Thraka.
Oh.
Hey, thanks, Gaz.
He couldn't get a super chat to go through, and I think it's because it was in all caps, and Google thought it was spam. So he just put it in regular chat, which, no, Google, I'm not talking to you. All right. So here we go. Thanks, Gaz.
With the big smelly skelly getting all the best rules and gubbins, how would you lads update my rules? More or a buff for me, boys? More cunning or more brutal?
That's so good.
Yeah.
On Gaz himself?
Yeah, on
I
Gaz.
think he's in a pretty good spot. And that's coming from someone who hasn't been playing him well in 9th edition. There are people who have been.
Well, remember
right?
when you didn't charge him and you were green town?
No, that's not one of those times. That was a perfectly tactically sound, cunning but brutal moment. So would I like for him to be a bit more durable? Yes. You know what I would do? Take Makari's buff away. Just give him the feel no pain.
Yeah.
Just give him a 6-up no matter what. Because Makari is such a joke.
No, Makari's cool.
He's so bad. He's like a pain boy that you have to keep next to Gaz in order to do
I know.
pain boy stuff.
It doesn't make
I
sense.
was like, what?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Other than that, I think he's not
They
in a
need to
bad
make
spot.
Makari's rules work, but they could make him work.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
I
He should be free.
Okay, I'll give 2 small buffs to Gaz.
Okay.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
Buff number 1, make all his ability work on all orcs.
All his abilities?
Yeah.
Wow.
Not just goths.
So he gives
I kind of support that.
them
Okay.
all reroll
He
ones in
is-
melee.
the
Yeah.
absolute biggest boss. I want him to work with everybody.
Okay.
I actually like this theme for most of these like Supreme Commanders. I like them to support any sub-troop. Like that's what I kind of want.
Right.
So all of his buffs, everyone, I like that.
It's also not crazy. Reroll ones in combat is like half a
In
captain.
Or Codex it is.
It's
Because
very
there's
good.
literally no... There's
Yeah.
one other thing that gives rerolls. That's it.
But I think
he's
it would be
Gaz.
genuinely very exciting. I'm into it. The other thing I would do is make it so that even things like the Nightbringer, his
Oh,
ability
yeah.
doesn't go through his
Yeah.
or doesn't ignore his ability
Yeah.
to negate wounds.
Uh-huh.
So that you don't just have these other things that are trump cards on him.
Mhm.
He's supposed to be a big scary boy, and it feels bad to just have that rule get ignored.
I agree.
So those are the 2 buffs.
So a rule that says, the rules that ignore this rule are ignored.
Or just don't count it like that. You know what I mean? Like the
Rewrite the way it's
Nightbringer,
written, yeah.
Nightbringer changed Nightbringer specifically such that he only ignores like feel no pains.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But not
If only
not this
feel
kind
no
of thing.
pain were keyworded so they could do that.
Yeah, but something like
So you
that.
would say, after you take 4 damage in a phase, all other damage are reduced to 0. Ergo, it would work.
Sure. But whatever.
you
I
wouldn't do it
hope
like
they
that,
don't
but-
make it too complicated. But he should ignore, like, in my opinion, the Nightbringer should ignore like Death Guard, and he should ignore feel no pains.
Right, but he doesn't.
I
ignore
know
the
he
death
doesn't,
card.
but
Yeah.
he should. In my mind, like that's how he should work, and that's more interesting.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, Adrian, I just thought I'd pass this along. Gasgol himself will never forget or forgive you for not charging the Ultramarines.
Yeah, who said that?
Directly from the source, Gasgol himself.
That's right.
All right, thanks, Charlie. Good evening, Titans. Love the streams. You guys are awesome. Question for discussing the Resilient. Does it affect mortal wounds at all?
No.
No.
Nope.
Because they don't have a damage characteristic. They just do mortal wounds. This is why mortal wounds also go straight through on Nurglings, because they only get their feel no pain against something that has the damage characteristic of 1.
Because they're squishable.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Exactly.
good question though.
And it's one of the bigger changes to the faction. They used to be really durable against mortals.
Mhm.
Now they have only like 6-ups if you have the.
They're susceptible to it for sure.
They're susceptible, yeah.
All right, thanks. Brick, I really love the feel and look of triple Keeper of Secrets demon lists,
Yeah.
but I'm scared investing in greater demon lists with the limitation of specific HQs. Is it worth it? Ooh,
That's a
I
tough
would
question.
be careful.
Well, 1, I knew I was going to get a lot of use out of mine. 2, I converted a lot of mine, so that was an excuse.
They're fun projects.
Yeah, and to be honest, one of my keepers used to be a flying demon prince, and this is the thing with chaos, right? It was like at the time it was kind of an overly sized demon prince, and now it's a well-sized keeper. And in the future, maybe it'll be something else.
Yeah.
And with Chaos, you always have that option, right?
You're thrifty with your models.
Yeah.
Especially with Chaos, you find ways to like turn them into something else.
Yeah. So I'll say that, but
Yeah.
it's hard to truly answer the question because it could change at any moment.
I'd say because they're fun hobby projects, I wouldn't mind doing this. For instance, if I had to build 18 Centurions, which I hate building and painting, that's like if they change the rule, which they ended up doing, you end up suffering because it's like I don't like this. Was not fun. I bled for this.
Yeah.
But if you paint 3 keepers, that's just joy.
It's true.
And if they say you can only use 1 and you put the other 2 on your shelf, and you're like, they're so great. Like I don't feel bad about that.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm turning some of mine into obliterators.
All right.
Alrighty, thanks, Michael. Thanks for the help on Thursday with painting advice from my Dark Angels First Company Tactical Dreadnought armor.
Nice.
Brian's gloss, then detail trick is cheat mode.
The gloss is a cheat if it's an extra step that you have to wait for it to dry. So if you don't know what we're talking about, a lot of times we'll do glossing, but only just in the recesses, and it can be really hard to do. But the trick is you gloss
a wash in the
I'm sorry.
Crevice.
And so what you do is you gloss the model, and then you can do it very carefully, and it's a lot easier. And you can have like a Q-tip with like white spirit on it. You can easily just wipe off any mistake like really, really quickly. It is cheat mode. For instance, if you're Tau have all the little boxy ridges.
Oh, jeez.
And that is the trick. So if you need to do the little black lines in all of Tau, I swear to you, you could do 2,000 points in a single night with this technique. Whereas if you had to do it the other way around, it would be like a month.
Brian, you should sell classes on this.
There's a few I learned it from the person who did my Tau. That's actually how I learned it.
Right.
Because I was like, man, this is great line work. And he's like, oh, it's really easy. And he just showed, gloss it. So I just like gloss them before bed. It's like the last step I do. And then I come back the next day, they're glossed.
Wash it,
and then matte finish on top. Yeah.
Alrighty, thanks, Friendly Zerol. Now that grav cannons have 30-inch range and 2 damage flat against units with 3-up save, do they have a place in TAC or dev squads? That's the best dev squad we have.
It's the best dev squad, hands down.
The grav is the best weapon.
Even if you're playing fists, funny enough.
Yeah.
It's great, and it's great especially if you have ways of regaining rerolls. So, for example, Ultramarines can take like Oath of Moment, Oath of Seal of Oath, and now you get your rerolls back on the big target that you need if it's Mortarion or something like that. Yeah. It's a different slot than it used to be because you don't have Grav Amp, right? So in that case, you're getting all the rerolls against one thing, but generally speaking, it's no longer a vehicle killing thing, right? But it is good at killing
just like Marines,
T5 Marines, T4 Marines. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I agree. It's actually an interesting gun. We just don't own a bunch of them. You have some for your
fists. I have my
fists,
fists ones, yeah.
We'll try them one day.
For sure. And they are better than the heavy bolters even for fists. In case you're wondering about that math.
We did the math really early on in the starting 9th edition, right?
Yeah.
Because we did a comparison video on what's better, Primaris or Old Marine.
Yeah.
And we really went into the math and did a breakdown of like, this kind of Primaris Devastator versus Classic Devastator and elite slots. You should go check that video. It's actually really well. We put a lot of thought into it. And it came out that just like the grav is just a little better.
Wait, Michael, are you upset? I don't understand what I missed.
What did we do?
I'm sorry. I don't know. He was very, very specific with something, and I don't know if he's talking to me or somebody else.
All right, let us know if we missed something.
I hope I didn't upset you, Michael.
Well, if we missed something, let us know. We'll fix it.
Yeah, you just tell me in chat. All right, thanks, Novus. Thanks, Titans, for letting me enjoy 40K after so long away from the game. Would love to hear you rank all editions from best to worst. I've only played 2 editions, so
that's true.
I was around for 3 editions. I only played 2.
This is my 5th edition. This is the best one so far.
Okay.
You adapt to each edition, and they all seem perfectly fine at the time. This one has been great. 7th edition at the time. So 6th and 7th were very, very similar. 7th was just a polishing of 6th. They got rid of some of the abuse, but it was largely the same rule set. And that was what I actually grew up on, like competitively playing. And it was busted. Yeah. Way less diversity.
They really jumped the shark at the end with all those extra books.
So I rate this one much highly. I didn't really play 5th. I was at college at the time, so I didn't really play it. And I started with 4th, which was a classic, simpler time. But things like vehicles felt weird. Vehicles went through the transition of like they're either dead or they're unhurt to you can be damaged and basically just your guns are all dead, so you might as well just be dead, but you're not. To then, okay, now they're actually going to be the same as everyone else and have wounds. And so vehicles, I think, are one of the things that have progressed the most, so that they're actually interesting. They feel great.
Yeah.
So
change characters a lot. Change a bunch of things.
No joke. I think this is the best edition so far that I've played, from 4th to 9th.
I will say that this is the best edition, mostly because of the changes to Games Workshop, not the game.
Well, they're related.
Yeah, they're related, but like the changes to Games Workshop of taking control over the GT missions, being more responsive for facts, getting more content out there quicker. They put a lot more personality into the game. But I will say 8th edition had a number of advantages over 9th. 8th edition was the most approachable version of Warhammer I think they've ever made. Yeah. It was easiest to just get into and play. And it was one of the smoothest transitions to a new edition. They had all the indexes out. And everything was, like, some indexes were a little busted, for sure, whatever. But, like, day one, everyone was kind of on an equal playing field, which they've never done ever in the history. Yeah. And the start of 8th edition was kind of a magical time.
It was.
Right?
It was, yeah.
So they did some pretty amazing things with 8th. I think 9th is better, but 8th is close behind for me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, 8th and 9th is definitely, like, they're kind of, there's 6th and 7th. Yeah. There's 8th and 9th, right?
For sure.
All right. Nice.
It's not a definitive ranking, but it's a lot of opinions.
They're valuable opinions.
Yeah. We have opinions.
All right, thanks. Your waifu is trash. Follow up on Sanguinor question. Waifu, not wife, Adrian. He's not referring to Mel. He's referring to Gilliman. Follow up on your Sanguinor question. Is the Whirlwind a better alternative for anti-charge, or Judiciary with Selfless Valor lost a full squad of Sangard to a counter-charge last game, and it really hurt? Sounds like it's actually a play mistake, right? We don't know the full scenario.
But which one's better? Whirlwind, Judiciary?
Judiciary.
The Judiciary is better.
For a number of reasons. So one, your Whirlwind has to be able to hit something that's on the table. Sure. So if they're in deep strike, if they're in a transport, or if they're untargetable, you can't do that. The Judiciary is it's going to be able to respond. Yeah. It's going to be harder to play, right? Because you have to be in a certain spot. But if you can get relatively good at that, I think overall it'll be better because you can control it more. It's reactionary, etc.
And the model itself, not only does he have the fight last, but he himself is a useful utility. Whereas the Whirlwind, when you're using it to do this, it's not really shooting. Additionally, it costs CP. Right? Yep. And it could be shut down in ways where the Judiciary cannot. Whereas I think not only the way you talked about, but you could get to it, tag it, kill it, whatever. Yeah. The Judiciary is untargetable most of the time. He's very hard to get to, hard to dig out.
Literally more expensive. Like a Judiciary is 85
Not by much. Let's be fair. The Whirlwind's fairly cheap. Yeah. But he is more expensive.
85 points.
It's not 85. Yeah. But it's not, they're in a wash together. The one thing is the Whirlwind, I don't love for preventing them from charging you, because you make that unit fight last, it just won't charge. They'll choose another unit and go. Yeah. But it's good when you're charging them.
Whirlwind is an offensive weapon.
It's an offensive, yeah.
And your concern here is preventing counter charges, which is absolutely what the Judiciary does, right?
Well, okay. So what he said was he got counter charged, which is why I initially said it's probably a play mistake. So you have to be willing to accept when you charge and take the initiative, you're probably, depending on what's around, going to lose that unit. That thing you charged with is probably dead. So if you charge Sangard into something and you're trading down, that was bad. Don't do that.
There's all this staging that has to happen in a game, and we'll even do so over here when I had my acolytes come in, I also charged in the bikes. Did the bikes actually need to do anything in the combat? No, not at all. But I wanted to bring them with me, right? So same thing with the Judiciary. While the Sanguinary Guard can move further, if you can bring him along, keep them in the squad. It's all about kind of playing that well.
Not crazy to have both. They do different things.
Yeah, agreed.
They definitely do different things. So not crazy to have both. Fight last. Wins games.
Yeah. It's funny because there's the same thing with the Dark Angels, right? They have the power to make someone fight last.
Yeah, the psychic power. Yeah.
My only fear with that, it's the same fear as the Whirlwind, is they have to be on the table during my psychic phase. So if someone's coming in from reserve, I can't do anything about it, right?
The nice thing about doing it in your shooting phase, you have at least a chance to pop a transport or something like that. Yep. And if they're coming from deep strike. And one of the nice things is you could at least try to screen those. You have other answers to them potentially, but they're both cool. Yeah. This army can do some magic with a Whirlwind, though. We'll do that next time.
Real.
Yeah.
You will try.
No, I will.
All right, last one of the night. Thanks, James Workshop. Want to know what codexes are next? Just look at Caradon and Faith and Fury. P.S. Bridger, stop trying to make moving objectives happen. It's not happening. James, one day you will cave. Yeah. And you will move it from Sigmar to 40k. and we will have knights kicking objectives.
I was trying to make fetch a thing.
It's gonna happen.
This is from James, so maybe you just forgot what's coming out next.
Yeah.
I'm having a direct dialogue with James right now. James, you'll come to see the light.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah. I don't know. We can't really say anything, so.
No, there was a joke about. I think it was I don't know what the joke is, but there's something about Caradon and Faith and Fury having the next code. I don't know. This joke went over my head. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. Are they talking about like the Lumineth just coming out and then getting a new book right afterwards?
Maybe.
The Daughters of Cain also getting a new book right after the Marathi book.
So what would the Faith and Fury chapters be that would get?
Faith and Fury is Sisters, and what else is in the Faith and Fury?
No, Faith and Fury is the Psychic Awakening.
Oh, yeah. No, but that's what I'm saying.
But
What was in that book?
Sisters died.
Oh, that was Space Marines.
They never got them. Yeah,
It was all Space Marines.
This was
all the Space Marines.
That's all like wrapped in, and there's like one thing that you can still use in that book.
Oh, I convinced James.
Chaos.
James
It's Chaos.
The Chaos. You can use the like demon weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
Which are actually cool.
Yeah. Well, it's also all those other
The
chapter
demon
rules, right?
chapters.
So
yeah, Legions. Sorry.
Make them a real book.
Yeah.
Thanks, James.
Let's do it.
I convinced James. James is gonna put kicking objectives. In
Yeah.
the
He's like, oh,
Good.
okay.
Good. It's an easy sell.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. That'll do it for the night.
Yeah, that's gonna do it.
Great. Well, great game. That was so fun.
What a cool game.
And thank you guys for joining us. As always, we have a game on this Saturday. Really excited. It's going to be the debut of the Silent King.
That's right.
And the Void Dragon.
Yep.
Versus Guilliman, the Ultramarines. I'm really excited. I always have fun playing them, so this is going to be a really fun game. The final battle for Ultramar on this Warzone for this week. And we have a bunch of stuff coming in the future. We'll talk about it more on Saturday, but really, really excited. Yeah?
It's going to be great.
Awesome. Well, again, if you guys did enjoy this, do like and subscribe. If you're here watching this with us, you probably already have.
That's
but
right.
we still appreciate it. Otherwise, we'll catch you guys next time on the Tabletop.